So by this point, you've done so much. You've taken a lot of courses, you've watched a lot of videos, you've read a lot of books, listened to podcasts, but still you don't feel like you're progressing enough. You feel like you're not really leveling up your English to a point where you're satisfied with it. So why is that? Why are you stuck? In this video, we're going to discuss just that. Reason number one, beginner's approach. So basically, your level is now intermediate, but you're still doing the same thing that you did as a beginner. So why is this keeping you stuck? Because as learners advance, as learners progress, your strategy also has to progress with your level. You need to evolve your learning methods. So beginners usually focus on grammar rules and learning a lot of, let's say, pronunciation and basic vocabulary and just a lot of vocabulary memorization. Well, actually, in the intermediate level, you also want to memorize to a certain extent, but in the beginner level, you focus mostly on memorization. And also at this level, it's very likely that you're doing a lot of translation between your native language to English, which is inevitable, and it's actually one of the easier ways to do it if you're a beginner. But as an intermediate, your strategy has to change. So at an intermediate level, you actually have to start putting emphasis on immersion. And at this level, communication skills also becomes important. So make sure that you watch a lot of interactions, a lot of dialogues between natives, or even like non-natives, fluent non-natives like me, but it has to be dialogues and interactions, because this is where natural conversations take place, and that is one of the first steps to getting immersed to English. And so not only watching conversations, you can even challenge yourself to engage in conversations as an intermediate level. So learn synonyms and learn different ways natives would describe one thing so that it enriches your vocabulary, and also start focusing on phrases. Although, to be honest, if it were me, I would already start focusing on phrases as a beginner from the beginning. But if you haven't already, it's better for you at an intermediate level, it's better for you to start focusing and memorizing phrases instead of individual words. Number two is comfort zone. As in, you are staying in your comfort zone and therefore you are doing the wrong exercises. So this kind of adds to the point that I talked about before. So when you are staying in your comfort zone, means that you're actually doing exercises that you find easy. Exercises that you have been doing as a beginner, and then it becomes easy, and then you just keep on doing that. It's actually pretty good. It's like, I understand why a lot of people would choose to do that, only doing things that are more comfortable, because it makes you feel good. It gives you the impression of yourself that you're actually doing pretty good. My level is actually not that bad. I can understand English almost 100% when, let's say, let's say Naila is speaking. When I hear Indonesians speak English to each other, I can understand fully. And it's actually good to feel proud of how far you have come. But just like every other thing in life, it's actually necessary to have a balance. So doing these exercises that are too easy for you, that are too familiar for you, is actually going to slow down your progress. So it's good to be proud of yourself, but it's also good to really challenge yourself from time to time, or even consistently if you do have the energy and you can actually prioritize English learning in your life. So a very common example that I find in a lot of my students in my premium coaching program, English Sprint Academy, is that all of my students are at a level where they understand my English 100%. So you can actually watch my videos without subtitles, and you can even replicate some things that I say. So the level above that would be watching videos made by native speakers. And I do understand why a lot of people would just rather watch videos made by me or by other English teachers, because the English that are made in these videos are usually clearer and easier. So it does make you feel good that, oh, actually you understand English. But if you really are honest with yourself, you know that you're not challenging yourself enough, because once you challenge yourself, it's going to feel completely uncomfortable. If you start watching movies in English without subtitles, or where the English that are being used by these native speakers are just something that sounds completely different than what you've learned in class, That's gonna feel uncomfortable, and most of them you don't even want to put yourself in this position because it makes you feel like, oh man, I thought that my English was good, and then I watched these movies and then my confidence just dropped because apparently I don't know English. I can't understand English as much as I thought I did. So it's a very uncomfortable place to be, but very necessary to progress. So probably this whole comfort zone concept is not something that is new to you, but nonetheless, it's easier said than done, right? So get out of your comfort zone and start doing exercises that are just a little bit uncomfortable than your current level. Number 3 is having an unclear goal. So a lot of people just have the goal, I want to be fluent in English. So the problem with this goal is that it's not specific enough. So when it's not specific enough and you don't really know specifically what you want to achieve by becoming fluent in English, you're just going to be doing random exercises that's just not going to get you anywhere. If you don't know exactly what you want to achieve, where exactly you want to go, it's hard to devise a plan for progress. When you have a very general goal, a lot of the exercises that you do is they're not specific enough that it's not going to lead you to fast progress. You're just going to be doing random exercises that are not necessarily going to get you to where you want to be. So when your goal is not specific enough, you're probably going to look for answers online of like, how do I improve my English? And a lot of the videos that you watch probably going to give you general tips like, oh, you have to start listening to videos, you're going to have to start reading, you're gonna have to do grammar exercises, blah blah blah. But usually these tips are very general and they're not necessarily applicable to your problems or to what you want to achieve. This is why having a clear specific goal and knowing what exactly you want to reach is going to make it easier for you. If let's say what you want to reach is being able to conduct meetings at work, then it's easier to create a plan to reach exactly that goal. Oh, I want to learn how to conduct a meeting. What are the things that I need to do to get better at giving meetings? So you're not going to be doing random conversations with strangers online that are not relevant to what you want to achieve. So by having a specific goal, you're not going to waste your time doing exercises that are not going to bring you anywhere. So it's very, very important to know exactly what you want to achieve. Be very specific on your goal. Number 4, inconsistency. So this is very common. There are days or even weeks where you feel this jolt of motivation where you feel like, oh, you know what? I want to study a lot this whole week. I want to binge watch a lot of series in English and note a lot of vocabulary or phrases, which is actually a good activity to do. But it only lasts, let's say, for a week, and then the next 3 months you don't do anything anymore. That's one of the reasons why people get stuck in their level, because they improve a little bit for a short period of time and then they don't continue it. And then with language is like a muscle, you know, like if you practice a lot for a short period of time and then you don't do anything to retain it, it's going to go down. And then you're gonna have that jolt of motivation again. Let's say in about 2 months you're gonna improve, and then the cycle starts again. So this is also very applicable in many aspects of life. If let's say, for me as well, I'm not very consistent with my workout at the gym. So this is why I'm not very fit, because my motivation to go to the gym just comes and goes. Exactly like that with languages. So what to do with this? What to do with this is to find a learning method that suits you. If you think that learning English only consists of doing exercises or just going on Duolingo or just having to force yourself to watch videos that you do not enjoy just because it's in English, then you're doing things the wrong way. You really have to figure out the things that you already love doing and then just change that to doing it in English. So one learning strategy is that you want to find a way to make the learning process fun. So that definitely requires a little bit of digging from your side to really know what kind of learning method really suits you. And also, to tackle inconsistency, you want to focus on building a habit. I've talked about building language habits in this video before, so if you are interested in learning more, make sure to check out that video because I talk about it more in detail. And the last reason why you're stuck is because you have no guidance. So not having a guidance means that you don't exactly know what to do, because let's say you've watched a lot of these videos online that gives you different tips, but you are at the stage of analysis paralysis. So you get a lot of information from these different sources, but you still don't know how to take action. So at this stage, there are actually two things that you can do. First, you can be very self-reflective, and this requires a lot of self-awareness and a lot of introspection, because then you would have to know exactly what works for you and what doesn't. You have to be very good at diagnosing yourself, and this requires a lot of self-analysis and a lot of reflection. The second thing that you can do is to actually get a coach or guidance from a third person, because sometimes a third person who is an expert would be able to diagnose you very well what your problems are, taking into account your current situation, your environment, and what you're doing wrong. So this is exactly what I can help you with in my premium coaching program, English Sprint Academy. So this coaching program is not a class. I do not teach you English, but this program is very much focused on habit building, and it's goal oriented. So in the beginning of the program, you're going to be asked to think very hard about your goal, and then me and my team will help you devise a plan to get there. The program is open on a rolling basis, so if you're interested in joining, make sure to click the link in here or in the description in the comments below to apply. And if you are eligible, our team is going to contact you, and then we're going to go through an assessment call. And once you pass the assessment call, then you are in the program. So if you're keen, make sure to apply. So that is it for this video. I hope it helps you and you learn something new. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a like for the algorithm, and I will see you next week in another video. Until then, take care and bye-bye.